Yeah, I know I talk about fat loss. Yeah, today I wanted to talk about intensity in the gym and how your 10, 12 hour workday, your hard job isn't enough and doesn't give you an excuse to half-ass your workout. I talk a lot about how like your job, you got discipline, you got motivation, you burn a ton of calories, sure, great. But to like look good and for overall muscle growth, to push a physique that we're actually proud of, yeah, we're gonna have to put some time in the gym. We're gonna have to train to an intensity level that most people don't. I mean, it's one thing if you want to lose 100 and 200 pounds, even you can do cardio and you can take GLPs, I guess. But to take your shirt off and people be like, "What the fuck is that guy?" That takes a different level of exercise, we'll say. It's something I wanted to touch on. Not everybody has those goals. Most people are just lifestyle, I don't know, gym goers. They're just in it for the health aspects, want to look a little bit better. Not everybody wants cap delts and 24-inch arms. So, but if you do, this is most of our goals, at least. We want to strip the fat off and then build a physique we're proud of. So yeah, don't get caught in that. Like, you're tired after your work day. I get it. You walk into the gym, you're like, some days you can get things going. You get a good workout in regardless, but other days you're like, man. And you get that little gremlin on your shoulder that's like, it's fine, it's fine. You worked hard, you did enough steps today, you did this today, you did that today. And on an energy expenditure, sure, like, definitely. Like I said, calories in, calories out. If you want to lose 50 to 100 pounds, it's not that difficult. But if you want to lose 50 to 100 pounds and end up looking really good, really muscular, capped, the muscle's going to push the skin out. And one, you'll be more vascular, but two, you just look better. But skinny fat look people talk about is pretty much just no reason for your body to maintain the muscle while you cut down that weight. I'm exhausted. I don't know, I did legs and arms this morning. Thought that was a great idea. But here we are. I pushed it this morning for sure. And it kind of sparked this topic for sure. Back in the day, or I don't know, 5 to 6 years ago, I'd be like, I did this, I installed this, or I did that, and I don't need to train as hard, or it might even give you an excuse as to you shouldn't need to go to the gym, or I did this, I'm fine, or I'll go tomorrow, or there's definitely a genetic variance in how people look and how much muscle you can put on, but the common denominator with everybody that looks freakish, we'll say, is they're sacrificing a lot more than the next guy. They're going to Walmart at 10:30. They're doing stuff most people would think is insane, and it's just normal for those. They live the life and do the things necessary. It's kind of back to my whole process about making everything as easy as possible and fitting into your lifestyle, something you can stick to. Yeah, sure, it's all fine and dandy. But these higher level individuals, people that look crazy, and if you do, you got a goal like you want to look like C-Bum, and take a little bit different level of intensity. But it's no different than just layering it into your lifestyle. They're fucking on the moon. So it's hard to explain it with analogies, but these guys they weigh everything. They sacrifice things, like I said, most people wouldn't bat an eye to sacrifice. Just the level at which they're willing to go to reach their goal is much, much further than a normal person. That might be why there's very few. I guess it's with anything. So if you do have a goal like that, back to the topic, don't use it as an excuse. Just, I'm all right. I don't need to push there. I didn't hit my numbers because of this or because of that. Or don't use your job as an excuse, I guess. Even if it is wicked hard or all over the place, you should have a plan in place to figure that out. All right, cool. And then outside those work hours is when you're really dialing things in. And yeah, I mean, the best I've ever looked, I was working very long days, but the only difference is I was on point with the meals and on point with the training. I didn't miss, and I was training super, super intensely. And once you do it for a while, you can almost, like, you show up to the gym and flip a switch. It's like no matter how you're feeling, no matter what's going on, tired, it's like, boom, you're ready to go. And even you hear older guys, it's like 3:30, 4 o'clock is when their workout time was for 10, 20, 30 years. And every day right around that time, they get a boost of energy. The body's just gets used to your scheduling, gets used to working out, and you can kind of click it into gear a little bit more. But I would definitely say that that's common. People use their work as an excuse, underestimate, overestimate, however you want to say it. People don't want to do too much work. Everyone's like, all right, how can I just do just enough? Just enough. Like, when have you ever heard of anybody overtraining? Like, legit overtraining, had to take a week off because they trained it too hard. You know, maybe a fucking CrossFit athlete, I don't. So with that in mind, I would rather overshoot than do too little with anything. I got a question of the day, like how many working sets should I do per workout? What kind of question is that? You know, like there's 6, 7, I don't know, 8 exercises you might do per workout. 2 to 3 working sets seems all right to me. There's no minimum, there's no maximum. Like find something that's like, all right, it's enough for me to grow. Stay there for a bit. Go up if you need to. Pull back if you need to. But the last thing people need to do is do less. Figure out how to do it all scientific. And look at the biggest and the best bodybuilders of all time. They weren't doing anything, I don't know, scientific per se. Look at Jay Cutler's dumbbell curls. It's not quite science-based, but you're gonna tell him he needs to change up his arm training, because I'm not. So it goes with bodybuilding, it goes with weight loss, it goes with just overall lifestyle fitness in general. Most people are just general fitness goers, like I said, which is fine, nothing wrong with it. That's what it's there for and what most people should use it for. There's not much walking in today's society. There's not much exercise. It's like everything's either food or drinking socially. So there's no active social get-togethers. It's just a different way of life than it used to be back then. So you really got to try to stay in shape and try and look good. You can't really just go with the flow anymore. So most people are in that category of just maintaining, looking good, staying fit. Even if you are in that category, like still there's no need to use your super strenuous job as an excuse as to not train intense. And I'm sure you guys have trained with a buddy on the weekend. Decent sleep, decent food, gym partner. He's there to spot you. Like, whoa, I lifted way more than I usually would on my own. Crazy workout, right? Like, how could you do that every single day? Like, obviously, you can't get good sleep and eat entirely good every single day if you've got a job like that. But how can we try and match that level of intensity? Yeah, think about your best workout that you've had in the last 5, 6 months, and how can you emulate that moving forward to try and make it like every single workout? It's almost the inverse, but yeah, I would try and you want to squeeze as much out of every workout session as possible. I mean, diet's definitely a lever. Sleep's definitely a lever. Training might be the biggest lever. I still go back and forth between diet and training. It's like you can't really look muscular and good and full without lifting weights and training. It's like you also can't look lean, look good, look vascular, or really look in any sort of shape without some sort of diet or conscious eating approach. So yeah, I mean, they're both equally important, but most people need to dial in their training and their form. There's a lot of people I've seen, even in my gym, that are just doing the wrong form for years. You work in with them, and you can only give an old guy so much advice without sounding like an asshole, but still, it's like you see these guys that they're doing simple stuff, tricep press downs, that are just a little bit wrong, and they're not really hitting the full head of the tricep. It's like, could they? Yeah, whatever. But if they did fix that, like say 2 years ago, think about how much different they would look, or how many more real tricep sets they would have gotten. It's just another analogy to look at. But most people need to dial in that training lever. And if you can dial in that training lever, and from there you can look at a lot of other things. Look at a lot of other things. Yeah, this is gonna be no edits. But I mean, everyone's focused about diet nowadays, calories, macros, tracking, training, or not tracking, weighing, all this fun jazz. And like, some people have a science-based approach, sure, but there's not much talk about intensity and actually pushing your body to the point where it's like, okay, we need to grow and get bigger. Squats, bench, deadlift, those. No, not really spot training. You're not like targeting the bicep with any of those movements, but they're overall, I call them just frame drivers. Just like, it's going to force the body to say, we need to get bigger, whatever way that is at the moment, but we need to get bigger if we're going to keep doing this load. Most people just focus on the diet, and they focus on like half-ass science-based training for a long time, and they end up looking lean and good. Yeah, sure, fine. But I would rather have a ton of muscle and look good than look super lean and not really have much muscle at all. I know that's probably most of you guys too, so that's why I wanted to get on here and talk about training intensity, and why that's not only the main lever you should focus on right now, especially if you've been in it for a while. I mean, if you're new and not quite advanced, different story. But if you've been in it for a while, you definitely do some training intensity research and just see how you can improve that metric. Even myself, it's definitely weekly, I'm looking at my sets and my reps. How can I squeeze more out of this? If we all just grew linearly, we'd be deadlifting a gazillion pounds by now. But sadly, it doesn't work like that. So how can I be more efficient? How can I move this weight a little bit better? How can I target my chest a little bit better? And over time, you get really, really, really good with that, and you top it with intensity. Yeah, I think anybody with any genetics can get pretty good looking and grow a pretty freaky looking physique, to say the least. So it's just a matter of consistently training intensely, and that's not easy. It's a lot easier said than done. So yeah, again, find a way you can emulate your last perfect workout and keep that in moving forward. That way, I don't know, my brain's always just like, imagine how much bigger I would be if I had every single workout like the best workout. I know it's not possible to emulate the best workout every single day, but to strive for that, you'll get a lot further than if not. So yeah, again, 10, 12-hour super long work days don't give you an excuse to half-ass it in the gym. If anything, pull it back to 2-3 day a week training. A lot of people are doing 6-7 days a week, and then they wonder why they can't train intense. So yeah, no, hope that helps. Just appreciate you guys hanging in here with me. A little tired, but we got it done. So yeah, focus on training for the next few weeks if you've been really focused on diet and don't forego diet, but put a little bit more emphasis on intensity and watch where it takes you. So with that being said, we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.